a man shot in the head.
How do you think the district attorney has handled your case?
He didn't take it serious.
A woman brutally beaten.
I was disregarded.
Violent criminals let off with questionable punishment.
No, I've never seen anything like this.
The victims are now demanding the district attorney be removed.
We can't keep doing this. We have to get this changed.
The complaints against this DA are so numerous, the state attorney general has launched an investigation.
Denver 7 investigative reporter Jennifer Kovaleski tracked down the DA, whose definition of justice is also infuriating a mayor, a police chief, and countless other city leaders.
It is unheard of.
He's facing an unprecedented state investigation
That he's making a mockery of the judicial system.
and risking the votes that got him elected.
Our sincere hope is that he's recalled.
It's a huge controversy in South Central Colorado.
This has gotten extremely serious. It's putting the community at risk when we're not holding people accountable.
City leaders have had enough with San Luis Valley District Attorney Alonzo Payne.
We're no longer going to tolerate mediocrity in the DA's office.
But to understand why Alamosa city leaders are involved with recalling a sitting district attorney,
What do I think about him?
you have to hear the stories of victims.
I don't think I should say that.
Do you believe the person who shot you has been held accountable?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Questions center on how the DA handled the prosecution of Danny Pruitt's case.
Bullet holes right here.
A total stranger shot him in the back of the head at a Black Lives Matter protest. This surveillance video from a downtown store captured the moment that left Pruitt on life support.
There was no reason for it, you know. When the bullet hit my head, it was the loudest ringing you'll ever hear.
28-year-old James Marshall was charged with attempted murder and assault. But in the 11th hour, the DA reached a plea deal.
It was to my surprise that they offered him that plea bargain 3 days before the trial.
Here's where it gets interesting. The DA allowed the gunman to plead the charge down to tampering with a dead body.
For a little while, I thought the district attorney was trying to call me a dead person, you know.
And the questionable plea deals continued.
I was completely disrespected.
Lonnie Welch is a survivor of domestic violence.
I was told I would never be believed. Nobody would take it seriously. And DA Payne proved that.
Welch's ex-fiance was arrested for third-degree assault and stalking.
This is my offender's history.
But she says he, too, was convicted on a drastically reduced charge of stealing a phone.
The second plea, I was notified the Friday before the court. No, I did not agree. I filed a complaint with the Victims' Rights Board.
She's now one of at least 8 victims who filed complaints against Payne. A state investigation found his office likely violated victims' rights.
It has been forwarded to the Attorney General.
And for the first time ever, the Attorney General is now investigating a district attorney for violations of the Victims' Rights Act.
He's not doing his job.
Back in Alamosa,
It feels very strange. It's not something I think any of us ever thought we would be involved in.
Alamosa City Manager Heather Brooks says council passed an ordinance allowing the city to use taxpayer money to try and recall the DA.
This is unprecedented.
The city has taken the unusual step of adding a tab to its official website titled DA Concerns.
We don't need to be over the top on crime, but we need to have consequences. And right now, there's nearly zero consequences.
He's making these sweetheart plea deals.
Alamosa Mayor Ty Coleman says it's time for the district attorney to go.
He needs to be recalled, and someone else needs to be in that role that's going to do their job.
Alamosa Police Chief Ken Anderson is also calling on the DA to step down.
Let somebody take over that can do the job.
Anderson says officers have conducted 40 narcotic operations in the last 9 months, none of which resulted in a single trial. He says other questionable plea bargains involve murder charges.
What would you want to say to the district attorney?
Why are we not holding offenders accountable for their actions? We need to get Mr. Payne out of office as soon as possible, or he needs to resign and realize that he is not capable of doing this job.
Is anyone able to get a hold of the district attorney?
Well, from what I understand, there have been a lot of people who've tried, but unfortunately, they haven't had much luck.
After our calls went unanswered, we were able to track down the DA outside his Alamosa office.
Mr. Payne, we've been trying to get in touch with you. Jennifer Kovaleski with Denver 7.
Jennifer, how are you?
And he agreed to go in front of our cameras the next day.
Sorry, yesterday it was just...
The DA fired back against Alamosa city leaders and was unapologetic.
All right, rain this week was a welcome sight, but that temporary relief is now in the rearview mirror.
All right, we will work on that problem. We're sorry to interrupt that story right in midway there. So we are looking at another weekend of wildfire threat. Our chief meteorologist, Mike Nelson, joins us with a look ahead. Mike?
You know, we had such a dry April, and now we get into May. We had a little bit of rain, but the drought is still pretty much severe across most of the region. And with that, we're going to have some real problems for tomorrow. Today, 82 degrees in Denver. That dried out the soils here as well as across the eastern plains from the rain we had earlier in the week. The winds are not all that strong right now, but they're going to be increasing tomorrow. And a fire weather warning is in effect for all of the areas highlighted in pink. There are a few light little sprinkles of rain northwest corner of the state. I doubt most of them even reaching the ground. There's a cold front coming our way from the west, but in advance of that, strong southwest winds crank up for tomorrow. So a warm start to the Mother's Day weekend, high fire danger for Saturday. Not much moisture coming up, and we'll be warm and dry for most of next week. Full 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, we'll see a little bit. Thank you, Mike. Well, heading into what is shaping up to be an active summer for wildfires, state regulators are discussing steps to reduce that threat. Today, the Public Utilities Commission discussed wildfire mitigation efforts. That includes placing electrical lines underground, implementing power line inspections for severe weather, and ways to protect areas in wildfire risk zones.
Take a good look at this car. Police say it was involved in a shooting that killed a man and injured a woman near downtown Denver. According to DPD, the victims were customers at this Enterprise Rent-A-Car near Broadway and 3rd. Tonight, one person is in custody, but investigators are on the lookout still for a woman connected to this shooting. We want to show you the car connected to the shooting again. It is a silver Chrysler 200 with Colorado plates ALOI76. If you see it, call police.
So DIA tonight warning travelers to arrive early for their flights. It's seeing longer than usual wait times at security. I want you to see this video. This was sent to us by our own Denver 7's Colette Bordelon. Lines tonight reached all the way to baggage claim. DIA is advising passengers arrive at least 2 hours before your scheduled boarding time.
What a mess. All right, legislation aimed at curbing the fentanyl crisis in Colorado is a step closer to becoming law. The Colorado Senate passed the Fentanyl Accountability and Prevention Act, but not without at least one notable change. The Senate changed wording in the possession portion of the bill by removing the word knowingly. That means people caught in possession of fentanyl can be charged with a felony even if they did not know they were in possession of the substance. That bill now goes back over to the House chamber, where lawmakers have until Wednesday to approve the Senate's changes to get the bill to Governor Polis.
A Boulder County dispatcher receiving some well-earned recognition for helping save a newborn.
I want you to completely cover the baby's mouth and nose with your mouth, then blow 2 puffs of air into the lungs, about 1 second each, just enough to make the chest rise with each breath.
Okay, he just made a noise.
Incredible. And over the phone, you heard there, Rob Schimler calmly walked the couple through how to give CPR after their 4-week-old stopped breathing. He fell unconscious. Well, this week, Schimler was presented with a Lifesaver Award recognizing those heroic actions.
Knowing where they were calling from, knowing that they're in a rural part of our county, I knew that it was going to be a longer period of time before the professionals could get there to help. So you just keep that in your mind. You follow the protocol that you have, the training you have, to help as well as you can in the moment.
Gosh. Schimler says before he was a dispatcher, he worked in EMS, but he says this was the first time he had to give CPR instructions over the phone. Nice work there, sir. All right, we're going to take a short break. Be back.